Hello everyone, my name is Trac3ytron and in this video I'm going to explain and show you the things I know about IUH hunting. I'll explain the mechanics behind horse spawns, also how the islands and the servers work and how you can use them when IUH hunting. Before I dive into it, I am going to show you my in-game hours, my IUH capture log and my overall horse captures, as this is something a lot of people ask me. So as of right now recording this video, these are my current captures and hours. I'll leave the timestamps in the description of this video if you'd like to skip ahead, but I do suggest watching the full video as it will explain everything and make things a lot clearer and easier to understand. So first, let's talk about the islands and their tiers. There is 3 tiers of islands: low, mid and high tier. Mainland being the central server for the game, but it's not a part of this as no IUHs spawn on mainland, but it's connected to Blizzard and Forest. These 2 islands are classed as low tier islands and are in one server cluster. Then we have Royal, Desert and Mountain. They are classed as mid tier islands, and these 3 islands are also in a separate server cluster. They are not connected to the low tier or the high tier servers. Then we have the higher tier servers, which is Jungle, Luna, and Volcano. They are in their own server cluster and they are not connected to the mid or the low tier servers. Now you know what islands are which tiers, now you can plan on what islands you're going to hunt on, whether it's all of them or a select few. It doesn't matter, and I'll explain why. But before we do that, let's talk about resetting the server islands and horse spawns. One thing you do need to understand is there is no right or wrong way of IUH hunting. The main goal is to reset horse spawns. There's lots of different ways to do this, so let's talk about how to reset horse spawns or the servers. You can simply capture all the horses on the island, which will reset the horse spawn, and place it on a 6-minute cooldown respawn timer. You can check all the horse spawns without capturing them and leave the server completely by closing the game and then rejoining your server. Or you can simply use one of the other islands that is not connected to that island server cluster. For example, capturing all the horses on Forest and then going to Royal, as Royal is a mid tier island and is not connected to Forest. As soon as you leave Forest, the low tier server cluster shuts down, which means there are no horses spawning on that island and is classed as a reset. Now we know how to reset a server and horse spawns, let's talk about the mechanics of horses spawning. Horses only spawn when you physically visit an island for the first time. For example, if you go to jungle, only a few horses will spawn, as horses will only spawn due to player presence. Horses will not spawn on any other island unless you go to the island itself. I recently asked Trick, the developer of the game, to clarify this, and as shown on my screen, it is indeed true. Thanks, Trick. Horses don't exist on all islands in the server unless players are near each of the horse spawn points. So you don't have to worry about checking all the islands thinking you're going to miss an IUH because they won't be there unless you went to the island and triggered the horse spawns. So knowing this information, you can hunt on one island or 2 or 3. It's totally up to you. Now, regarding herd spawns, herds are on a set timer once every 40 minutes. Herds will spawn as long as you're within that server cluster of islands. Herds will spawn in 2 spots and will stay there until you catch them or you leave the server cluster. They don't despawn and they don't work the same way as normal horse spawns. Horses, once captured, get placed on a 6-minute respawn timer. If you capture all the horses on an island and leave before the respawn and go to another island in the same server, for example, going from Royal to Desert, the horses on Royal have been captured and are on cooldown. And then when you leave to go to Desert, they will not spawn back on Royal because you are not there to trigger the spawns as they were on a respawn cooldown. Also, I'd like to add a few things that a lot of people believe which aren't true. Private servers are not luckier than other private servers. IUHs are not based on how many captures you have or based on how many captures leading up to an IUH capture. Lassos have nothing to do with an IUH spawn or what type of IUH will spawn. IUHs are 1 in 5,000 spawn rate, and IUHs will only spawn by resetting horse spawns. There's no secret to capturing IUHs, it's just a little bit of luck and patience. The more you visit an island, the more chance you'll have of one spawning. Here are some of my tips that I use while hunting. Use a nice speed and stamina star horse, for example, a thoroughbred, Arabian, Centerbred, Techie, or even Dutch Warmblood. Find its favorite food, as feeding your horse's favorite food will give you a 10% speed boost. This is great for hunting. Also, train your horse. Get an ability called deep breaths. This will help with stamina regen. When IUH hunting, try and hunt at different times of the day and also try capturing or just checking the spawns. Always change the method. Don't use any lassos over topaz as they won't make tokens in profit, especially if you're buying your resources. But last but not least, have fun. Utilize your time when hunting, gather resources, capture horses to sell them for tokens, complete some of your collection log. Turn it into an adventure. It helps with burnout and boredom. But most of all, stay positive. Just remember, if it doesn't happen today, it could happen tomorrow. I hope this helps with your future adventures of capturing your dream horse or even just understanding the game a little better and easier. Please feel free to ask me questions below in the comment section or subscribe to my channel and get notified when I go live, as I do IUH capture quite often, streaming live. Feel free to ask me then. But until then, I wish you all the best of luck. Until next time.